Yeah, so again, John and I have been judging. You've been judging a lot longer than I have, but together we've probably been judging the last 7 years of the National Oyster Cook-Off. And the first category is soups and stews. Then there's appetizers, soups and stews, and mains, entrees. And folks are judged on taste, texture, creativity, and appearance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some we really adore. And this is one of them that we felt was good enough that we could sort of tweak a little bit. When this was from last year.
Yes,
and,
that's right.
Last year's, and I don't know that she was the grand prize winner. I can't recall. I mean, of that category.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
recall.
not quite sure.
But
we liked it.
We did.
So we figured if we liked it, you might like it.
Right.
Right.
So we judged it a little bit because we just can't not.
Tiny bit.
When it was presented to us, it had a poached oyster on it, and we just felt like it needed some textural different, right?
Yeah.
Because you have this lovely, silky soup. So we decided this time we're going to serve a panko crusted oyster as a garnish on top. Yeah.
Yeah, because the soup itself, smells so good just because basically it's onions and bacon.
And cream, a lot of cream. Right?
Later we put in the cream, but the potpourri part is the onions and the bacon.
Exactly.
And then we put some butter in it just to enhance the onions and the bacon.
No one said this was healthy. Well, we did say delish, so.
It's got all the food groups in it.
Exactly.
So we have the onions, the bacon, the butter, and we put some fresh garlic in it. The thing is, it doesn't need a whole lot of things, and I think having the poached oysters, they sometimes get overcooked.
Right.
And it can be not so great.
Yeah.
We're using a number of different things here. We have some seafood stock or clam juice that will give the soup itself, like so much flavor. Put a little bit of shallot in here. And then we're going to see, we're getting this nice and hot. Wayne, could you just show them tip this up? Look at this.
Yeah.
This is perfection,
guys, right?
For
breaded
oysters.
with love. So it's seasoned flour. This is just all-purpose flour with salt and pepper, and if you want to kick it up a little cayenne is wonderful, right? Egg wash, just beaten eggs with a little bit of water, and then I'm using panko here. I like panko because I like that crunch, right? You do too. So you want to. The hardest part about this, and I know this sounds stupid, but it takes more brain power than you think. You need one wet hand and one dry hand, because if you don't, you end up with sort of like hot mitts of flour, right? So you're literally just going to dredge this guy. So that was my wet hand. So now here's my dry hand. You're going to dredge this guy in that seasoned flour, shake off the excess, put it in that egg wash, go back to your wet hand, make sure it's good and covered, get rid of any excess, and then into the panko. So easy peasy, right?
Look at that, beautiful.
A lot of people want to skip like this step, the flour step. Don't do that. I know it's tempting because you're like, oh, just one more thing. But if you do, this is kind of like the glue in a way that holds that gorgeous breading on. Because if you've ever skipped this step and the breading just like slides right off, it's because you missed the flour. So don't skip the flour. If you're gluten intolerant, you're obviously not going to do that. We're going to do a separate one for you.
You could
absolutely.
Use rice flour.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yep, works just as great. We're going to do one of those for you, so fear not. All right, and then.
So while we're over here and everything's boiling over here, I'm putting a couple more seasonings in, cayenne pepper, and some of the ubiquitous Worcestershire sauce. Somehow, almost everything that they have in old Chesapeake recipes always has Worcestershire sauce. Could you give us some thoughts on that, Kara?
So Worcestershire is interesting because it's like a semi-fermented sauce, but it just, I don't know why it got used so much. Maybe because there was just less sauces. It's one of the earliest sauces that was pre-made. So
And it was from England,
which
Worcestershire, Worcester County, Worcester County.
Yeah, no, they don't say that in England. It's Worcester.
They say Worcester in England?
They say Worcestershire. They have it in England.
How do they say it in England?
Worcestershire.
Worcester. Worcester.
Worcester.
And now they say Worcester sauce.
Yeah.
Try to say that with an English accent.
Worcester.
Worcester. All right. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, so, yeah, at the time that, I'm not even gonna say it now. At the time, this particular sauce was really out, you know, you're making your own ketchup, you're making your own, you're going down to Boddington's Vinegar Depot and getting barrels of vinegar to make your own pickles, but you could buy this, so it really shows up in a lot of recipes.
Does it have sardines in it?
Anchovies,
Anchovies, yes.
yeah, so it's like, it's got that.
All right, so we have the spinach in here. We have, it's almost a little like a Florentine. And then we're going to take just a pinch of heavy cream. Like that. And then, where does the salt and pepper live? Here we go. Just going to put a little bit of salt and pepper here, and then we'll let it simmer. And then we'll check the seasonings again. And there you go. So the idea here is this is, again, a pretty simple soup. Most of the soups that you'll find from around the Chesapeake and a lot of seafood soups are basically simple. You know, butter, onion, whatever, and the seafood. So really the seafood is king when you're thinking about that. I read in when I was doing some research that Captain John Smith said that when he first sailed into the Chesapeake, it was in his diary, that the fish were so thick, we attempted to catch them with frying pans. And so anyway, I always say that's my definition of Chesapeake Bay cooking. It's simple, it's, you know, right from the source, and you don't do too much to mess it up, just to enhance those kind of natural flavors. And I think that this soup does a great job with that, actually. So now the next magic part is Gwen is going to start frying the oysters for you so we can dish you up some soup.